Katie. Oh my gosh. I love that we have mom moms.
What better way to start the day than with some sparkly goodness?
Yes. So happy to see you in our little bubble over here.
Yay!
Thank you so much for coming. I am super excited for everyone to get to meet you. All my worlds are colliding with the absolutely beautifully bubbly entrepreneur, mother, wife, everything. You got it all going on. Architect, like you.
No big deal.
Oh, so Katie, I would love for you to introduce yourself to my audience and tell us what can we know about you? Tell me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I like long walks on the beach,
Yes.
candlelit dinners.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am an interior designer based in Miami, but also have a sort of international reach with my work. I have been doing this for over a decade now, just about 12 years. I do this alongside my husband, who's my business partner, and we've been having a lot of fun. We work with some really interesting people, from global franchise owners to famous theater actors. We've been having a lot of fun along the way.
I love it. You have to tell me the scoop on your actors.
Okay.
Like, what's it like designing their houses?
That's fun, I can tell you that.
You probably have lots of stories.
Yes, yes.
So tell me, I know that one of your specialties and your creation, something you and your husband birthed, was this concept of biological design. Tell me, what is that all about?
Yeah, biographical design. And we, having worked in interior design for, so many years, we really discovered that where our clients really were coming to shine in the world and really were being able to feel supported in a way that was allowing them to live their best lives was when the design of their home was more and more and more uniquely tailored to exactly who they were. And I don't just mean function, right? Like, okay, they have kids and a dog, and so then all of the materials need to be really, really durable to withstand like throw up and pee and all the things, right? So I don't just mean functionally. What I mean is, the more we were able to design spaces, particularly residential spaces, that were biographically designed, wherein we designed the space to be a reflection on the person's biography. And what that was doing for our clients, and what we've seen over the years, is that when a person feels like their home in particular, like their space is a reflection of who they are, a celebration of who they are, that is when the space is able to become a springboard for them to be fully expressed in the world, because they're celebrated in their home. And that's like the foundation of where everybody gets the roots of their energy to go out in the world. So we've been loving it, and it's been fun for us and really enriching for our clients. And for us, that's like a win-win-win-win-win.
So you're not asking questions like, what style do you like? Because of course that goes into it, because you don't want to be in a style that you don't feel like nurtured, but you're asking, like, you're getting into the details of like their passions and their history and that's awesome.
Yeah. So for example, we had a client who he was from the country and she is like a New York fashionista. And so we had this coffee table that I think is a good example. The coffee table is a collection of tree stumps. Okay. And that was a celebration of his sort of country background. Aww. And we celebrated her fashionista New York glamorous side by gold leafing those tree stumps. Aww. And they are beautiful. And not only are they beautiful stylistically, but they're beautiful in a way that they celebrate the two of them coming together in their union. Yeah. And we're celebrating that in the coffee table. And I think that that's a really good example of biographical design. That's not about, beach style, whatever kind of trendy style that's out there right now, but it's more about creating a style that is only a reflection of who the client is, based on, how their heart comes to play in the world.
So you just feel like when you get home, you feel like it's your safety net, I understand that it also will create, it'll create inspiration and creativity when it's done right, right?
Yes, exactly. Because the thing that we have found over the years is that when people subscribe to a style and have a home that is stylistic, like for example, what's popular right now in Miami, what's popular is like modern beach. That's a super popular style here. And what we have found is that when a person come homes to a style that is not reflective of who they are and doesn't celebrate the pieces and components of their spirit, then their home can tend to feel flat. Like it's a beautiful home, but then there's something about it that just falls short. And the falling shortness of it has to do with whether or not it feels in alignment with their spirit. And if it doesn't do that, it will not feel like it propels you forward to do great in the world. It will just feel like you are like a factory worker, in a line, in a line producing things just like everybody else in the world. And that is not what the world wants of us.
That's so true.
Yes.
So otherwise, it just looks like a pretty magazine picture.
Right, right. And there's nothing wrong with beauty, right? Like everything we do, it falls to the foundation of like, is it beautiful, right? And it's not enough to just be beautiful.
It is. It is. So how did you get involved with this? How did you figure out this biographical design versus just, not saying just interior design, but like it's a big difference. This is like an elevation of, instead of your home is just beautiful, it's like it represents you and both of you.
Yeah. Well, when we first started out, my husband Ruben and I were both coming from architecture.
Yeah.
And so when we sort of jumped ship and we transitioned to interior design, we were looking for all the answers outside of us. So I was looking at like, how should I dress? How should our website be? And what we found was that the answers that we were given by outside sources didn't feel enriching to us. And we had come from the architecture world, doing roof details, for example. I remember one time designing a roof detail for hours and hours and hours, and then presenting it to the client for a municipal project. And in that case, it was working with a project manager, not the end user. And so that person like really did not care. At least that was my perception, that person really did not care. And that left me feeling empty inside. Like I was pouring all this passion and heart into what I was doing, and then feeling empty at the end of the day. And that just, it stuck with me. And it was an emotional like energy state that I
Yeah.
did not ever want to be in. And I hated it. I hated that energy state. So when we transitioned into interior design, I knew that I wanted the opposite. I wanted to feel enriched. I wanted to feel like my passion was making an impact in the world. I wanted to feel like I was in contribution. And when I noticed that the work that I was doing, whenever I hit the nail on the head to really celebrate something about a family, I noticed that their energy rose and their smile was bigger, and they kind of leaned into the project more than when I was just doing, white subway backsplash tile in a kitchen, like, is the large trend at the time. And I did do white subway tile backsplash. And when I presented it to the client, and even when it was finished, it was like, oh, it's beautiful. But in contrast, when I did a kitchen with a wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling chalkboard cabinet, because the homeowners were graphic designers and they were able to like graphic design their kitchen and change it all the time and write their grocery list on the side of the cabinet and draw pictures, and I saw the difference. I saw the difference in just a pretty kitchen, and I saw the difference in a kitchen that celebrated the spirit of the family. Yeah. And I saw the spirit of the family grow and be bigger. And I saw them be more self-expressed. And I saw that the more self-expressed and enriched they were by the space, the more I felt enriched. So that was like a beautiful kind of
so it sounds like you integrated not just design, not just form, function, purpose, and all of that, but you're integrating the essence of who they are and how they're going to use the house in their full glory, in their highest. Love it.
Yeah, and what I always say is form and function have to follow people.
That's true.
Because if form and function doesn't follow a person, meaning the person comes first
Yeah.
to define the form and the function, then in my philosophy, that's a flat project.
Yeah.
With a flat outcome. And if
So
the outcome is flat for somebody, then I have seen in my experience that it doesn't call them forward to be even more them.
I love it. I love it. I understand also. I want you to tell us a little bit about what you have decided to do since then. So how do you teach other people now that you've come up with this wonderful way to do it? Interior designers must be just like, this is the missing piece. This is what we've been waiting for. And so how did you get into all that?
Yeah, well,
Next level.
yeah, so well, you know that I have a business coach. Her name is Michelle Villalobos, and shout out. um, and one of the things I have discovered about myself in working with her is that the more my business is biographically designed, the more my business is a vehicle of my self-expression, the more my business allows me to use it as a springboard for me to be even more me in the world, the more I'm enriched by the work I do, the more I'm enriched by my business and my job. And so just like I do biographical design in interiors, I'm
Mhm.
also supporting other interior designers to design biographical businesses for themselves. So it's not that I necessarily teach them how to do biographical design, but I teach them how to create a business that is a biographical expression of their life so that they can find the thing that they bring to their clients, so that they can find their own enrichment through the enrichment of their clients.
I
And so some of the things that the designers in our program are doing are incredible. Like I have a designer in our program who used to be a lawyer. She's now an interior designer. And so she designs homes for lawyers. And it's just incredible the way that she brings her lawyer mind to the spaces that she designs, because she knows really, really intimately how a lawyer is legal in the office and then illegal at home. And so she designs illegal homes for lawyers.
hilarious.
And so that is an example of what it looks like to have a biographically designed business, a business that celebrates your biography so that you can bring more of yourself to the world through a celebration of who you are.
I love it. It sounds like the personal approach to interior design is
Yes.
your expression, and look at all of those people that are now aligned with their own business and their own dream and their own creation, and the ripple that's just awesome.
Thank
That must feel
you.
so fulfilling
Yeah,
to
and
be
you
part of
said
that.
it. Yeah, thank you. And you said a word that I think exactly hits the nail on the head, and you said alignment. And I think that's exactly what it all boils down to is alignment. And I think that word in particular really hits the nail on the head because like I was saying before, if you walk into a home that's just beautiful and it doesn't feel like it is aligned with who you are, that misalignment continues throughout the day. And so you'll leave the house in misalignment. You're going to get in the car in misalignment. You're going to show up for the meeting in misalignment. And then I really have seen in my experience how incredibly, how incredible, how much misalignment impacts how you show up in the world. And so I'm like taking a stand and I want everybody to be in alignment so that everybody can be like vibrating at their highest self all the time.
So it's possible to have a house that aligns with both you and your partner.
Oh,
How
yes.
do you do that when it's you must have,
Yes.
because how many times is somebody really, both people just love everything? I mean, there's got to be some serious conversations that happen.
Yeah.
Like probably dig and dig.
And then that's such a beautiful question, Tamara, because it's so important for both people to
Mhm.
feel equally as celebrated in a space. And often we have it where the one partner says like, oh, you decide, and sort of passes it off to the other partner. And while I get it in terms of like time management, I think also it's important for both people to be celebrated in the space,
Yeah,
because it comes back to that alignment piece, like you were saying. If the couple doesn't feel in alignment
right.
and the home doesn't celebrate that alignment, then again, there it is. That misalignment is a seed that continually gets watered in the relationship, and a seed of misalignment in a relationship is doesn't grow into the most beautiful flowering tree.
In my experience, that is very true.
Hmm. Yes, I know. I have a husband.
So, speaking of husbands, what is it like working with your husband? I mean, how many hours do you all see each other a day? I know I work with my husband, but he's out in the field a lot, so um, I feel like I'm still happy when he walks in. Like for you.
Yeah. I mean, like anything in life, there are many facets to it, right? And I feel like it has been a huge blessing for us to work together. I think it's, if you think about really great teams, they do team building exercises, right? That are challenging, right? So they'll do like, okay, the whole team has to escape from a panic room and like figure it out together, right? Like team
Right.
building through challenge. And I think that the incredible team that my husband and I have become through the challenge of owning a business has really formed us and forged us to be this like solid iron unit together.
I
And
love it.
not without its challenges. And I think what it all comes back to is our intentionality with like relationship first.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with our communication to each other, and being vocal about what we're feeling in the moment, or about a subject, or in a season.
Right.
And I really believe that communication and planning and intentionality is really key to our success in being able to stay in love over the 12 years we've been working together, living together.
That is
And I still, to this, like, we just celebrated our 12-year anniversary, and I feel like I told him, I feel like if I compare the love I have for you today to the love I had for you like on year one, I feel like the love I had for you on year one was like little
yeah.
compared to the love I have for you here and now in 12 years.
Yeah. Isn't that weird how that happens? How
Oh,
you can just keep it's expanding and expanding and expanding, and then you add your son in there and it expands even more.
yes. Yeah. And I think that, I love that you said expands. And I think that hits the nail exactly on the head. That's such a beautiful language for it. Um, and I think that expansion happens through stretching. And that stretching happens through, figuring things out together. And like I was saying before about like team building exercises, the business gives us a lot of team building exercise opportunities,
Lots of initiations in there, huh?
right? So
Isn't
then
that interesting? Can you sort of think of it like, well, this is another opportunity. Please
exactly.
hold on a second.
And I think that the distinction is to understand it as an opportunity to stretch and grow in love, or to think of it as an opportunity to hate that person,
Exactly.
or be mad,
I'm doing it my way.
right? Or be right,
Or
you
be
know?
right. Yeah.
And so I think that early on, he and I decided that no,
Yeah.
everything is an opportunity to grow together. And I really believe that intentionality is really important for the stretching and expansion rather than the crumbling and the minimizing.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it. I love to see you are such a good example with this and your work life home balance and your juicy approach, how you show up. It's just you are just so
Oh,
That's
thank
really
you, because
cool.
that's how I feel about you. Like, you're
I
such a
really
model of the beautiful leaning into team building rather than team crumbling, and expansion, and how many hats you wear, and you wear them with so much grace. And I just learned so much from you guys and your leadership and the way that you do all the things and life and work balance and all the things. I just admire you so much.
I have good friends. Keep the best people around you, right? Because it helps with our mind, and that's where it starts, right? Our mind, and then how it expands into ripples and triples and goes and leaks into everything else. Is it really the foundation is important, and having good people around you is part of that foundation. So I always appreciate being in your presence, Katie. I would love it if you could tell us how we can keep in touch with you. How can we follow Katie around, see what she's doing next?
Thank you.
What is the best way for us to find you?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, at Errez Design, and check out our website, errezdesign.com. So Errez is E-R-R-E-Z, which is the last 5 letters of my last name, Gutierrez.
I love that.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, when Ruben and I were starting our business, we're like, what are we going to call it? And I think, you know, if anybody has named anything, even a pet, like it's a really challenging thing to do, right?
So permanent.
Yeah, naming a business was really challenging for us. And we wanted it to be our name, but not be our name because, you know, we're married, we have the same last name. And so we were like, if it's Gutierrez and Gutierrez, it sounds like a law firm.
It does.
Like Gutierrez and Partners, like it's like, oh, no, it's a law firm. So yeah, so we
Well, thank you, Katie, very much for joining me this morning and letting us know a little bit more about your world. And I can't wait to hug you in person. It's going to be soon, I know.
I hope so. I miss you.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me. I think you are so wonderful in the work that you're doing in this world, both through roofing and through your loving through partnerships and people and women. And like, you just bring so much heart to this world. I admire you so much. And I'm so honored to be on your show.
Thank you, Katie. Have a wonderful day.
You too. I love you.
Love
Bye.
you.